Oh, but that's not a parking spot. I think this is the most petty I have ever been, and no need to ask if I was the asshole, 'cause I totally was. But it tickled me and a few others. This happened a few weeks back and still makes my friends I have made laugh about it. I do deliveries around our town, and as such I need gas to do so. There is one gas station I hit up every morning before work because the gas is cheapest, it is on my route to work, and it has a better selection of breakfast snacks and drinks than the others around it. Since I have been stopping off there a minimum of 3 times a week for the last 6 years, I have gotten to know the owner and a few of the long-time staff there. They are all good people and treat me nicer than normal employees do. So I try to treat them with as much respect as I possibly can. One morning while I am filling up, one of the female employees, we'll call her Rachel for this story, was standing idly by one of the pumps. She has a few mental problems but is one of the nicest people I know. So while my gas is being filled, I strike up a conversation. She tells me she ain't doing so hot, because she is supposed to take out the trash from the outside bins, and put it in the dumpster around the side of the building. The way the building is designed, there is only one way to get to the dumpster to put anything in it, and that way is clearly marked with signs and paint saying, "Do not park here or block the dumpster." I look over and there is a caravan of about 5 minivans parked around the area. Most were in legit parking spaces, but the biggest one with a massive roof rack was parked awkwardly in front of the dumpster, completely blocking it off. I asked Rachel if she had asked them to move and she said they would move when they were done, and that was over 30 minutes ago. I feel for Rachel and her sad face at that time, so I tell her I will make it up to her. After getting the nozzle put back up and got my car ready, I drove over to where the van was parked and parked my car in the first open parking spot behind it, effectively completely blocking it in. I get out of my car and walk about 5 steps away, when a screeching Karen pokes her head out of the front window of the van.
"Hey, can you move your car? I'm parked here."
Oh, but that's not a parking spot.
"Well, yeah, that's why I am trying to get out of it."
Okay, but hold on. I'll just be a minute. I proceed to walk inside the store to get my morning meal, as I hear Karen screaming for me to come back. As the doors shut in the store, I notice the place is overrun with families buying travel snacks. They are all milling about but a few are looking out the window saying, "I wonder what Karen is yelling about." They are clearly all in her caravan. By the time I grab my food and drink and make it to the checkout line, she has stormed her way in and is trying to tell me to move my car now. I tell her, I can't leave, that would be stealing, so I'm going to buy my stuff and leave. She huffs at this and notices everyone in front of her is a member of her traveling party, so she just glares at me the whole time. I finally make it to the front after like 10 minutes and go, "Oh wait, shoot, this isn't what I wanted, I'll go put it back and grab what I really want." Luckily I was still very early for getting to work, so I was milking it for all it was worth. Karen is fuming. When I make it back to the line, someone else is getting in line in front of me, and Karen is trying to tell him to move so I can go first. The owner, we'll call Jess, tells her she isn't allowed to talk to customers that way, and one more outburst from her, and she will kick her out of the store. Karen mutters to herself but is silent. I go up to check out, moving and talking as slow as I can, and ask for a lottery ticket as well. After paying, since no one is behind me, I scratch it off. What do you know, I want a free ticket. So I buy another one and proceed to scratch it off. Karen to that point had been mildly tolerable, but then she let out this unholy screech and told me to stop wasting her time. To which Jess told her to leave. Karen started to refuse and Jess picked up her phone threatening to call the cops. Karen is then swift to leave at this point, now yelling at her caravan as to why they have to wait. I thank Jess for all of that she has done so far and explain what was going on, still really slowly. She laughs and tells me how much she hates people who park there. They get all defensive when you tell them that they can't park there, but this is the first time anyone got their comeuppance over it. I left and saw Rachel standing near my vehicle, doing her best not to laugh. I load up my car and asked if everything is better and she nods enthusiastically. I move my car to the other side of the lot and watch them all leave one by one, but not before Karen pulled out in front of someone and almost wrecked.
Busybody neighbor. Thinks she's the parking police. I have a busybody neighbor that lives across the street from me. We live in small rural English village. The houses are old, and quite tightly packed together with a narrow road running through the center of the village that's just big enough for 2 cars to pass. My house has no parking or driveway, so I have to park my car on the road, as do a lot of the other residents. Mrs. Busybody has a big house with enough space on her driveway for 3 cars, and a fancy electric gate with a remote control. The driveway is quite narrow as it runs down the side of her house. In the village we all try to park on the same side of the road, so that people going through don't have to weave in and out of the parked cars and it's safer for children. This means I park opposite my house outside Mrs. Busybody's. One morning getting into my car and going to work, she came out of her house and told me that I wasn't to park there anymore. I asked her why, and her response was,
"Oh, you know how it is, you just want to be able to park your own car outside your own house."
I said yes, I did understand that feeling, and raised an eyebrow at the irony of me doing exactly that, albeit on the opposite side. I was just trying to be courteous by parking on the same side of the road as everyone else, but she didn't see it that way. I have one tiny car and she has 2 large 4x4s and a driveway. I spoke to another neighbor and she'd been bad-mouthing whoever had the little white car parked outside her house, as she wanted the space outside just in case someone popped around to visit and needed somewhere to park. So I parked my car right outside my front door, directly opposite her driveway. Now there was no way that her or her husband could get in and out their driveway in one maneuver due to the narrowness of the road, the narrow drive, their big Range Rovers, and my car opposite. I watched her for months having to shuffle her car in and out of her driveway. She couldn't say anything to me and ask me to move because you know how it is, you just want to be able to park your own car outside your own house.
Fuck you, sound guy. Oh yeah? I supply and operate sound and lighting for bands. The singer shows up fully dressed in black leather with fucking spurs on his boots, shoves a cheap, shitty wireless microphone at me without a word. I check it out and it has rechargeable batteries in it. This was a no-no back then, as the batteries would discharge suddenly and cause the mic to fail in a performance. I tried to point this out to singer dude, but he just death stared me and told me to
fucking sort it.
Halfway through the show, of course, the mic starts losing gain catastrophically. I try to increase the input gain, but it's hopeless. Mic gives out entirely and singer as dude gets on one of the wired mics and tells the audience,
"We have to take a break to sort out this fuckwit sound guy."
Oh really? I go backstage and before I can even open my mouth this guy starts screaming at me.
"You're a fucking fuckwit, mate. Why don't you just fuck off?"
Right in front of all the band and hangers-on. Okay. I can deal. I went on stage and started rolling up cables and turning everything off. Venue manager asks me what's going on and I told him, "No worries Dave, they're a shit band anyway, see you next week." After a while singer dude comes out, all pally.
"Hey Dave. What you doing?"
I told him, "I'm fucking off mate, isn't that what you wanted?" Packed up, loaded out and got home early. See how your shitty mic goes without a sound system mate.